So looking back at the past year, I've noticed that I have brought in a lot of different aspects that really aren't me. You know how you go through time and everything, and of course, naturally, when you meet new people, go through different experiences, you change a bit. So I was thinking for this month of December that I wanted to go back into my memories and look about who was I? Where was I going? What were my dreams and what were my passions? Who was I? Who am I now? And who is it that I'm trying to become? And I am very much of the belief that in order for you to achieve anything, you have to actually know who you are deep down and in every aspect. Of course, naturally, it's good to change, it's good to grow over time, but to still have that self knowledge. Because by having that knowledge, you're able to know how to get to where you're going. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know what obstacles will affect you most, and what course to take to be able to achieve the various goals that you have in life. One of the greatest gifts that I got was actually a suitcase my mother put together. Since I was born and even before I was born, she gathered all these different things of mine that throughout the years that I didn't know. So when I turned 30 and everything, she gave me this suitcase that had the newspaper clippings, baby shoes, baptismal gown, and pictures from pretty much when I was born all the way up to senior year of high school. It still is one of the greatest gifts I have ever gotten in my life. And honestly, I think it's a good place to start when you're trying to figure out who you are. Go back to where you came from. And one thing I did do was go back home to Texas. I haven't seen my family in about 2 years, so it was really good to spend time in a warm place, especially get away from work, be able to just relax. Unfortunately, the airport was hella crowded, and I caught something, so spent pretty much Christmas sick and everything, but I did slowly get better. And I did spend time with each member of my family, be able to talk to them, get close to them, and also kind of like just remember peace, knowing that I have a secure base to always go back to and people who care about me for who I am and love me as I am. Another major aspect of who I am is my friends, and I was able to celebrate one of my good friends' birthday and everything and be able to celebrate their lives. Friends have a great influence on me, and that can be good and both bad depending on the situation. But knowing that allows me to be able to get support. Like I have a good friend right now who's my accountability partner to who I have to pretty much report to every week and say what I am doing, what I'm trying to accomplish. And she is able to pretty much yell at me if I start trying to slip away or make up an excuse because I can't be as her. So another thing about this month that a lot of people think about is New Year's resolutions and everything. Again, like I said, I'm not really doing a New Year's resolution, but I do think it's good to review this past year because as you see in other series that I have on my channel, I was doing a New Year's resolution and it failed completely. Like in the sense of I actually weighed more now than I did in January. So that kind of showed my progress or lack thereof. I did progress in certain areas and failed in certain areas. So it's good to look back and see it's like, okay, what tripped me up? Which was pushing too fast to the point that I actually got burnt out and didn't want to do anything, and which triggered my escapism aspects, which is usually food and alcohol, and also porn. It made me feel good. It took me away from the stress of work, of going from days to mids and mids to days, and not getting enough sleep and not being able to have a stable, healthy diet, trying to balance everything in my life. And it was just stressful. And when I saw myself failing, I would go into a state of depression, which would honestly increase. And then, of course, there were the good sides where I was able to have moments of discipline and progress and growth, and I was very proud of that. But then, naturally, the mindset of, oh, let me treat myself, that would go from like one day to pretty much a whole week or took 2 weeks off. So, being able to look at what were my strengths at that time, what were my triggers, what are areas that I need to be aware of to move forward and know what pace to set in order for me to progress forward bit by bit each day. especially from a faith aspect of just letting go, understanding that I don't have a lot of control over anything except one aspect, which is my choice to either focus and do what I know that I need to do, or worry about everything else that I can't really control and then make myself believe that I've actually progressed in some way, which really you haven't, because all you did was sit there, plan, worry, but no action. And I'm not sure if you can tell, still have a little bit of the cold left, but I am doing a lot better, so thanks be to God for that. But even like with this cold and everything, still pushing forward, doing as much as I can do, but not trying to push myself to such a degree that I just completely burn out again. It's continuing no matter if I'm in a state of depression or if something else comes up in life, because something will always come up. It's about how do you adjust and how do you move forward despite any obstacle or situation that comes. There are moments for breaks and times to just rest, but it's not going to have, it cannot be based on all the various little distractions that come through life. Another thing I was reflecting on during this month was pretty much what was driving me. I am very easily ego driven, but also driven by like fantasy, romance, etc. I get inspired by many other things. And one thing I definitely am driven by at this moment is trying to be the best man I can be for my future partner. I want to be healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, and very much spiritually. I want to have a fit body. I want to look good. I want people to turn their heads when they see me, and I want him to have this feeling of pride being with me. So that is definitely a key motivation aspect. Another aspect that drives me is I want to be a role model of a gay, thriving religious man that I couldn't really find anywhere else, that took his faith seriously, practiced it, but was not ashamed to be gay or trying to appease everyone else, but just having a healthy, normal relationship. And lastly is a teaching aspect, because there are so many various parts of life that intertwine together that a lot of people are like to focus on one thing or another. I'm just like, I want to share my philosophy of how everything connects together, because I believe if I'm able to show how all aspects of life connect together, one is able to find more peace and joy in life. So the current plan to be able to achieve that is pretty much set a focus for a month, and the upcoming month in January is going to be detox and resensitization, pretty much going back to the factory settings, I guess, would be in the sense of like my dopamine receptors, so that way I can heal there, be able to set up a habit of healthy routines of eating. So gonna go dry using Sunnyside app, which is very good aspect to help put drinking into a mindful setting. So I'm not gonna quit drinking. I'm gonna do a dry January, but I have no desire to quit drinking. I just want to get it back under control and being able to set more plans in place. The other is having a religious mindset of obedience, being able to let go and trust and just focus on the day and making right choice, even if I don't want to do it. So it's not about how I'm feeling, it's about what needs to be done today. And thus, the mindset and philosophy behind that is if I focus on the day and just get it done, God's going to guide me to where I need to go in order to achieve everything else that I believe He's trying to get me to, which is where I really want to go. So, thank you for following me this far. I hope that everything is going well in your life. I pray that you are being blessed, guided, and understand that blessings may not be pleasant at all the time, but I do hope that you are always constantly blessed. And I ask that you please pray for me, that I receive the lessons and blessings that I need to become the man that God created me to be and to achieve the various things that He's set me to achieve. So thank you again for your love, for your support, and especially for your prayers. And until next time, be blessed.